In the deep future, revolutionizing space travel also means we'll have to rethink the human form.
So, Johnny...
Eva, you haven't aged a day.
Oh. Wow. You look...
A little different? Yeah.
Yes, those are gills. They'll come in handy if we need to breathe underwater on some kind of ocean-covered planet. They also might be the beginning of the end of the human race as we know it. It's the deep future. Your body, gone. You're all computer, all the time. Your brain is way more powerful than even a billion supercomputers. Jobs, food, language, water, even traditional thought. All of humanity's building blocks, all that's done. And you are immortal. Squirming in your chair yet? You should be. This isn't science fiction. Today's visionary thinkers say it's a strong probability that this is what your world is going to look like. Right now, all of our eggs are here in the Earth basket. If we plan on surviving, we need to scatter those eggs around the galaxy.
If an intelligent species starts spreading between the stars, it's pretty unlikely to go extinct.
Interstellar and intergalactic travel, where we travel in our, meat bodies, is going to take a lot of scientific progress before it's a reality. As we develop technologies to take us around the universe, we'll simultaneously have to figure out how we will exist on other planets. And that means we'll change our DNA to suit the environment around us. And that means we'll change our DNA to suit the environment around us, triggering something called speciation. We'll be able to exist on a planet that has, say, toxic air. The bad news is that we won't be human anymore. Bad news is that we won't be human anymore. When you think about it, we have already gotten pretty comfortable with drastically modifying our bodies. Think cochlear implants, heart transplants, and hip replacements. It's even tough to find someone without a tattoo these days. But once we start changing our bodies on a much larger level, like our half-fish friend, that's when you start talking about the birth of a new species beyond humanity. That group will become post-humans.
A post-human could be a very radically redesigned genetic human.
We could intentionally speciate. We could make ourselves radiation resistant by just changing a handful of genes, maybe as few as 4 genes.
Okay, in the deep future, we're going to have tiny robots in our veins, carrying medicine to our cells and fixing them. And on top of that, we'll be able to alter our genetic code.
Or we can actually take snippets of this code and change it out, either in embryos or in adults.
We will be able to tinker with our genetic heritage. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time.
And that's when humanity is going to start looking very different than we do today.
We're going to become a multitude of different human species. We are going to speciate.
Meaning, we'll deliberately mutate our genetic code to ensure an upgraded version of our species survives what would be the toxic, uninhabitable environment of an exoplanet.
We're going from what has been Darwinism, evolution by natural selection, to something different, evolution by intelligent direction, by our own desires.
People will have modified their DNA to be more resistant to cosmic radiation, or building bodies that are better able to deal with low gravity, or even more radically modifying their respiratory systems to actually be able to process the Martian atmosphere.
Pleasant to make a genetic modification to myself to be able to like breathe Mars's air or whatever it is. I imagine it would involve some sort of a hole in placed in my person, you know what I mean? I imagine some sort of a third arm would need to be attached. What kind of clothes would I wear with the third arm?
Totally hear you. But the need for a third arm may not only be entirely necessary for survival, it may even be fashionable.
Those tools is something that is in our future. It's just a matter of when, not if.
When we arrive at that future point, we will have built artificial intelligence.
Hi, Dad.
We'll not only re-engineer our DNA to resist all life-threatening diseases and viruses, we'll be able to create the ultimate sustainable biological body designed to our exact specifications. Then there may be a time when our descendants will choose to discard their physical bodies. Once we shed our physical bodies, we will exist only as a computer copy of our brains. It's hard to imagine exactly, but basically you'd be digital information stored on a server. But will we still be human if we aren't made of flesh and blood?
I think mind uploading is one of the most easily understandable steps where we could go from human to post-human.
Okay, hold on a minute. Post-human? How's that going to work? What does that even look like?
A post-human is a completely digitized human that might still retain many human attributes, but has shirked their biological lineage, living in a digital existence.
We may look totally different since we've altered ourselves to be able to colonize new planets. And even beyond mere cosmetics, we could be uploaded into the digital realm and live as a giant digital collective, living immortal lives inside the massive Dyson sphere. And parallel universes and dark matter all became a reality.
谷歌首席未来学家雷库兹韦尔预言说，到了2029年，人类将开始正式进入永生之旅；到2045年，人类将正式实现永生。此话一出，震惊世界。雷库兹韦尔被比尔盖茨称为我所知道的人工智能预测领域最牛的人。1988年，麻省理工学院提名他为当年杰出发明家。他曾获9项名誉博士学位，2次总统荣誉奖。库兹韦尔有几乎如先知一样的预测能力，他成功预测了苏联的解体、电脑战胜冠军棋手、数字助理如 Siri 的出现、虚拟和增强现实系统等。在他147次预测中，115次完全正确，12次基本符合，17次部分符合，只有3个结果错误。作为未来学家，其预测准确率达到86%。这次关于永生不死的预言，它是通过3大理论例证出来的。第一，人类即将可以植入纳米机器人；第二，人体开始启动程序化，植入纳米程序芯片后开始由机器人编程；第三，当肉体再也支撑不了现实的摧残，渐渐老化不能使用的时候，只需要将记忆芯片取出来，借助人工智能技术合成一个新的大脑。同时，他还提出了意识云盘的概念，将自己的意识上传到电脑上，从而达到灵魂上的永生。人们将能够在互联网中生活，在未来的世界当中，就如同电脑《黑客帝国》中一样。